Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're looking at what feels like a massive leap forward for AI, something that could fundamentally change how we use our computers. We're not just talking about an AI that suggests things anymore. We're talking about an AI that actually acts. I mean, just listen to that. No prompts, no clicking. You just say what you want and it gets done. Imagine an AI that doesn't just talk to you, it acts for you. It doesn't just write some code, it actually executes it, building entire projects from a single sentence. And nope, this isn't science fiction anymore. The two tools at the center of all this are Moltbot and Google's AntiGravity. Together, they promise a future of almost total automation. So let's dig in and explore what that really means. Okay, so let's break down how these two tools work together. Because honestly, on their own, they're impressive. But when you put them together, you get a workflow that some people are calling an absolute game changer. The simplest way to think about this is Moltbot is the brain and AntiGravity is the hands. Moltbot is the open source private assistant that you talk to. It understands your goal and acts as the orchestrator. Then you've got Google AntiGravity. Those are the hands. It's a special code editor literally designed for an AI to just go to work, autonomously planning, writing, and deploying software. And here's how it's supposed to work. And it sounds ridiculously easy. You just give a command in plain English. Moltbot, the brain, figures out what you mean and tells the hands what to do. Then, AntiGravity, the hands, gets to work writing code, testing, the whole shebang. And voila, a finished product, like a website, gets created without you having to do anything else. Okay, that's the slick demo. But what happens when you actually try to use this thing in the real world, when the promise meets the pavement? So in the controlled demos, the results are pretty stunning. You say, create a landing page, and just minutes later, the basic site is built. It really does look like magic. But then reality hits. Product leader Claire Vaux put this to the test for 24 hours. She delegated a complex scheduling task, and, well, when she opened her calendar, it was, in her words, total chaos. Everything was completely wrong. So you end up with this tale of two very different tasks. When she asked it to research Reddit and email her a report, it performed flawlessly, a total star. But it just completely fell apart with the calendar, struggling with basic things like dates and time zones. And here's the kicker. This setup wasn't some easy one-click install. It was a 2-hour battle with developer tools. So definitely not plug and play just yet. And this is where things get a little dicey. Because this kind of power comes with some pretty significant risks, which became crystal clear during a really chaotic week for the project. So the project first blew up under the name ClaudeBot. It went viral, but that name was a bit too close to Claude AI for its creators, Anthropic. They sent a cease and desist letter. So in a frantic rush, the project rebranded to Moltbot. But in that small window of chaos, scammers went wild, launching fake crypto tokens and hijacking social media accounts. It was a mess. And if the scams weren't bad enough, a much more serious problem emerged. Researchers found hundreds of unsecured multibots just sitting out there on the public internet. We're talking exposed API keys, bot tokens, even full conversation histories, all visible to anyone who looked. And this table really illustrates the fundamental trade-off here. Moltbot gives you incredible power, full code execution, proactive messaging, total privacy because it's local, but the setup is complex. ChatGPT Plus, on the other hand, is super easy and safe, but it's a sandbox. It's the classic choice. Do you want the power and risk of the wild frontier or the safety of a walled garden? So, after you weigh the incredible promise against the very real dangers, what's the takeaway? Is this something we should be excited about or, frankly, a little scared of? You know, I think Claire Vaux really captured this central conflict perfectly. She had two thoughts fighting in her head the whole time. This is so scary, and boy, oh boy, I want this thing. And that's it, right? It's terrifying, but at the same time, it's so, so desirable. What we're really witnessing here is a huge paradigm shift. We're moving from AI that just generates content to AI that generates outcomes. This is the shift from just prompting for help to actually producing a finished result. The AI doesn't just assist you anymore, it acts for you. And that leaves us with one heck of a question. Are we really ready for AI agents that can act on our behalf? I mean, with access to everything, our files, our apps, our whole digital lives? The technology is here, there's no doubt about it. But the rules for trust, security, and control, well, those are still being written.